They always say you shouldn't point a camera at a fresh grave, and this video right here is exactly why. On the 2nd of February, a family out in Indonesia were laying someone to rest. The service was completely done and dusted, and they were just filming the plot to wrap things up. But mate, if you clock what the camera picks up, your head will absolutely fall off. Something is gate crashing this goodbye, and it's 100% shouldn't be there. Get a proper look at this and tell me what you think is wrong with it. As the camera pans across the crowd, you'll spot something massively out of place. Sitting right there among the mourners is a pale, glowing figure that no one saw until they checked the footage back. Some reckon it's the spirit of the deceased lingering, while others think it's a watcher, an entity drawn to highly emotional events like funerals. But here's the detail that really messes with your head. The figure actually casts a glow on the people next to it. It's a physical light source. So if that was really there, how on earth did nobody notice a glowing entity sitting beside them? They only noticed it after reviewing the footage later. Skeptics are obviously calling it a bit of clever editing, but if it's fake, it's incredibly well done. What do you reckon? A real spirit caught on camera? Let us know. Number 7. Behind the Pain. On the 1st of March, a TikTok creator known as Chichilla, the kind of person whose content usually involves cheerful updates, daily routines, nothing even remotely eerie, posted something that felt completely out of place. She says she's been trying to sleep after a long day, but kept getting woken up by the same thing over and over again. Heavy footsteps and that lingering feeling that someone's watching you. After a while, she decides to record it. Big mistake, because she'll never want to sleep alone in there ever again. Take a look.
I'm trying to sleep, but I need you guys to see and hear what is going on. I look like shit, sorry, but like what is happening outside my patio door? Okay, hold on.
Everything's dead quiet until this figure glides in from the left, repeatedly bangs on the glass, and then just goes poof. But what properly rattled people wasn't just the shape, it was the movement. It doesn't walk, it glides. Proper smooth, almost like a cartoon ghost straight out of Paranormal or Casper. Which would be funny if it wasn't lurking outside that stupid o'clock. And seriously, since when do ghosts get stopped by patio doors? Some commenters reckon it's a Scooby-Doo classic prank with someone in a bedsheet, especially since you can't actually see any legs stepping or arms driving that banging motion. But others pointed out the obvious. Why is there no curtain on the door? A bare glass door at night is an absolute magnet for reflections and shadows. One solid theory is that there was some fabric hanging outside, catching the wind and slapping the glass. That perfectly explains the gliding, the banging, and the missing limbs. But here's the thing, if it was just her own laundry, surely she'd know and say so, but she hasn't. Leaves it an absolute head scratcher, wouldn't you agree? Number 6. Musical scare chairs. Honey Bell, who lives in Ontario, had just moved into a new apartment after her divorce. Quiet place, fresh start, everything was normal, until one day she got back home after dropping her daughter off and walked into this. Take a look.
I am freaked the f out. I just got home, and tell me why my chairs are like this. Like, what the f? I literally still have my coat on. I come walking through the f. Oh my god. I'm like shaking right now. I just went and dropped my daughter off to her dad's house. And all the chairs were around the table. What the fuck? Oh my god. I need to call my mom.
No signs of a break-in. Doors locked, windows fine, but the chairs were off. One was placed on the table, others moved around. Not knocked over, just rearranged.
What the fuck? Oh my god.
Now Belle swears that she lives alone and had her keys with her the whole time, so whoever did this would have had to get in without forcing anything. And if you watch closely, her hands are shaking, showing how the sight shook her up. But that was just the start. Let's watch at what happens next.
Okay, I picked my mom up from Toronto yesterday, and I wanted to show her the house. So of course, I showed her the spooky room. And I must have left the light on up there. I don't remember leaving the light on. But I stood at the bottom of the stairs and I made my mom go up the stairs. And I was like, Mom, look into that wooden spot over there. And she's like, what wooden spot? That's because it's down there. Yeah, no. There's cushions back there. No. I told my ex about it and he said that it was probably the draft that did it. I don't know, I'm gonna put it back up. So maybe it did slip. Maybe I'm just being a little bit crazy. The draft in there is insane. Okay. Gotta get this to stay up here. Okay, I think that's good. I think that's secure. I come up here again and that's on the ground. I'm gonna lose my shit. This is actually a nice wardrobe. And I wonder if I can carry that downstairs. That is nice. I hope that's my foot tracks. Can't even see out the window today. Oh, that's a nice picture. That'd go nice in my kitchen. Oh! Okay. So it must have been the draft. I'll have to get somebody to come and nail that on or something. Or I'm gonna do that actually. I'm gonna go get some nails right now. Cause f that. Fuck that. Fuck that shit.
She checks a room where she'd been hearing noises. The lights are on. She's not sure if she left them that way. But then, the crawl space panel drops as if someone or something gave it a shove from the other side. She brushed it off, saying it might be air pressure or maybe it wasn't secured properly. She plans to have it properly fixed and tries to move on. At this point, many of her commenters on her videos were concerned for her safety and suggested that she installed cameras around the house just to be sure. And sure enough, she catches something terrifying. Take a look. Hours go by and nothing, but then the door swings open. Now, doors opening by themselves don't spell doom. It could have been drafts or even faulty hinges on an old door. But watch how the door opens. There's no sudden gust-driven bang. They open with a measured, almost cautious pace, and as one of the commenters put, it moves like something that didn't want to make too much noise. So now we're left with two possibilities. Either this was an unfortunate combination of loose fittings, air pressure, and a bit of bad timing that just happens to look like something out of a horror movie, or there's someone or something inside that apartment. Which one are you going with? Let us know. Number 5. The Barking Dead. A short clip that has been doing the rounds online shows what starts off as a chilled evening with a lady watching her favourite show with her dog, when suddenly this happens. Take a look. At first, it's dead easy to miss. One of the dogs absolutely legs it for the nearest exit, spooking both the other dog and their owner in the process. To be fair, dogs do this all the time. Random zoomies or kicking off at sounds we can't hear, like a distant bang, another animal, or a door shutting outside. So, the woman just brushes it off. It's only later when she checks the camera that things take a proper dark turn. Watch again. Let's slow it right down for you. Did you spot it? Just for a split second, a faint, human-shaped figure passes right through. It's not crystal clear, but you can definitely make out a head and shoulders. But here's the massive detail. As it sprints past, the picture frame on the wall actually shifts. Just a tiny bit, but enough to prove this isn't just a dodgy camera glitch or a trick of the light. Something physically interacted with that room. Suddenly, the dog kicking off makes total sense. Both of them clock it instantly, and one absolutely legs it, wanting zero part of whatever just came through that wall. Even the woman's reaction is spot on. No exaggerated acting, just pure confusion turning straight into proper unease. You can clearly see it in the way she moves. So, what do you reckon? Is this a genuine ghost caught on camera? Let us know down below. Number 4. Picture Imperfect. Reddit user WhatIt2Year69 shared a snap taken during a trip back to their family's ancestral village out in Pakistan. The old house had been sitting completely abandoned for years, so stopping outside to grab a quick group photo seemed like standard gear. Nothing felt off at the time. It was only later on, when they were flicking back through the photos, that they clocked something massively out of place. Get your eyes on this. Looks like a normal family photo at first, but now, focus on the doorway. Look right in the dark behind the door. You can make out a face partially hidden, just peering through at them. The family swears blind nobody went inside because the place was falling to bits, so they stayed outside the whole time. But look at the figure itself. The colouring is completely off compared to the rest of the snap, and there's no actual body attached to it. Some believe it's just shadows lining up perfectly to play tricks on your eyes, while others think they've caught whatever was already lurking inside. What do you reckon? Real poltergeist or just a trick of the light? Drop your thoughts down below. Number 3. Pikabushka. Russian urban explorer Universe of Mems took up an exploration at an isolated, decaying complex deep within the Russian forest. The structure had been abandoned for decades, and many speak of the bizarre events that occurred there once the sun goes down. Our guy, trying not to meddle with the supernatural, decides to carry out his exploration in broad daylight. If only he knew that the evil that resides there never really leaves. This was how his exploration went.
Направляемся на поиски военной секретной заброшенной базы. Там, в лесу такие вот заброшки. Интересно сейчас найти эту базу. Так, идем. Она здесь здоровая, блин, эти дороги такие. Куча этих развилок. Пошли, ребята. Такие вот здания, помещения. Я думаю, достаем фонарик мой. Я взял. Все. О, смотрите, как классно светит. Ангар такой арочный. В лесу уже, видно, в земле заныканный. Такая вот была здесь военная база. Посмотрите. Какой ангар, ребята. Прикольно, что-то новенькое. И там много таких ангаров. Прикольно, ребята, давно не было у меня таких приключений.
At first, it's just what you'd expect. Empty halls, broken rooms, nothing moving. That changes when he reaches one of the deeper sections.
Ребята, жутковато, потому что здесь, блин, куча этих волков, зверей всяких. Подходим, идем дальше, смотреть, что как. Вот, ребята, еще такой вот бункер. Фу, территория очень большая. Здесь будет очень тяжело найти эти шахты. Так, пошли. А вот здесь уже стрёмненько, ребята. Какие-то комнаты. Что было? Ребята!
As he approaches the final doorway, a distinct dark humanoid figure emerges from the shadows like it had been waiting to play peekaboo with him. At the sight of this, he nearly jumps out of his skin and skedaddles out of there. Missed it? Take a closer look. The figure shows up briefly before retreating into the dark. Now, there are a few ways to look at this. It could be someone else inside playing dress up to mess with him. Not impossible in abandoned places. But some people think this lines up with stories other explorers have shared about the same location, including Apex Urban Exploration. Either way, something was there in that doorway. Whether it was a person or not will let you decide. Number 2. Cold feet. On the 27th of January, TikTok user Globalist Slayer USA shared a clip from his security camera recorded just before 4 in the morning. The camera looks out over a snow-covered backyard. No movement, no people, nothing out of place, until something starts to happen. Take a look. At first, it's just the snow. Then, the footprints begin to appear, one after another, moving across the yard, but there's no one there. No person, no animal, nothing visible creating them. They form in a sequence, as if something with weight is walking through, just not something you can see. The camera angle stays fixed the entire time. No cuts, no obvious edits, and nothing else enters the frame. While you could assume it was probably Santa running for a quick gift restock, it's important to note that the clip was taken way past Christmas, and you'd expect him to be more careful. Then, there's a chance that small animals could sometimes move in ways that are hard to pick up on, but the footprints appear bigger than those of any rodent. Snow can also shift or collapse in odd patterns, especially if there's something underneath. But the way these prints form, evenly spaced, one step at a time, makes it harder to pin down. So either there's a simple explanation hiding in plain sight, or something's crossed that yard without ever showing itself. Number 1. Bad vibrations. It was just another Tuesday night for Nia, her cousin, and their family pet as they all laid in bed, watching TV at their grandma's house. Suddenly, their dog Coco started acting strangely. At first, it was acting as if someone had joined them for a movie time. Shortly after, it starts staring at the ribbon attached to the ceiling fan, and that's when Celia pulls out her phone to record.
Did that boy text you yet?
No, look. Coco can tell something's wrong.
Do you see that? Oh, the ribbon.
Coco.
Coco, what you doing down here?
The dog appears fixated on the ribbon, which seems to move on its own despite the windows being closed and no justifiable reason for one to move and not both. Then the dog appears too frightened to even bark. Instead, it cowers under the bed like a child hiding from a monster. But the real scare came right after Coco left the room. Take a look.
Oh. Bye, Coco.
Bye, Coco. What the f...
The situation turned dark quickly as the bed began shaking violently as if there was an earthquake, but notice how the TV or other appliance in the room didn't move. It was as though whatever made Coco leave the room wanted the girls out too. Nia and her cousin never truly understood what happened that night, but I bet that was an experience that still haunts her to this day.
Abusive home situation. The figure seems to be weirdly tall, but could that be because of shadows and lighting? It's faint, but you can see the silhouette slowly moving around the front of the house. The guy soon realized if even paramedics are getting freaked out by the room, God knows what is in there. The room's aura only